it's Elyse here at Bowman Library with a whole new middle grade book spotlight. This time we are exploring some amazing graphic novels. That's right, the books that kind of look like comic books that are filled with some amazing pictures that kind of set that scene as you're reading what the characters are saying to each other and thinking. Oh yes, okay? So even if you're not a graphic novel enthusiast, there are some amazing ones out there that honestly have been some of the best books I've read recently, if not in like years, one of which we're going to talk about, okay? So I encourage you to maybe broaden the reading horizons, and I know that can be difficult. That's something I personally struggle with. I'm right there with you, okay? But sometimes it's so worth it, okay? So we have 6 amazing graphic novels we're going to take a look at, so let's get started. And the first one we're going to take a look at is Next Stop. This is one of those ones I was just talking about, one of my favorite reads of this year right here. Okay, so Pia's life has not been the best over the past year, okay? There has been a horrific family tragedy of which Pia's mother seems to be constantly blaming her for. They just moved to a new town. I mean, like, that's incredibly awkward as it is. And then her father is just trying to hold it all together. It's like, you know, he's the glue. And then things kind of just even get worse when he breaks his leg. Wanting to right the wrongs that she feels like she has done and she's brought onto her family, Pia decides that she's going to go on this bus trip, which will bring her through the desert with a bunch of strangers. It's a multi-day trip. Their ultimate goal and her ultimate goal is to get to the Caesarine Lake. And it's this lake that's in an underground cavern, which is said to have magical healing properties. And Pia thinks if she can get to this lake, everything that has happened to her family over the past year will be absolved, will be changed. You will be on this emotional journey with Pia as she grows close to her fellow passengers, each of which have their own reasons for being on this bus trip and trying to get to this lake of magical properties. And not only will you go on this journey with them, but you'll also visit wacky roadside attractions with them, like the world's smallest corn maze, and processing what she has been through. Now, what happened to her family over the past year is revealed throughout as the story progresses, and you will be on this journey right alongside Pia. One of my favorite graphic novels of this year. Highly recommend this one. Filled with emotions. I mean, it will get the heartstrings, I promise. This is Next Stop. Our next one is Swim Team. Okay, so Bree's world has been turned upside down when she is forced to move with her dad across the country to Florida right when she is in middle school, which can be really awkward. She soon learns, too, that the things that she likes and enjoyed, especially at her previous school, are not that popular at her new school, okay? Instead, this new school, the kids in it, they are all about swimming, which is really kind of tough for her to relate to, especially since Bree doesn't know how to swim. And this, honestly, to her could be like the worst case scenario. Things get even worse because then, due to her schedule, she needs an elective. And the only elective that is available and that is still not full when she goes to make her schedule is Swim 101. Trying to avoid going to that class at first, Bree soon figures out that's not going to be a feasible option. She's going to have to figure this out. She's going to need to face her fears. But how? Bree soon learns that she can get help from some of the most unlikely of places. An amazing graphic novel that's about finding your strength, overcoming obstacles and fears, while it's trying to stay true to yourself, making friends, finding your place. This is Swim Team. Ride on. So Victoria loves horses. She enjoys riding them, but she's ready for a change. And that change can be hard sometimes. Now, she doesn't want to compete anymore. That's what her life has really become. She doesn't want to do it anymore. She doesn't want the pressure. She doesn't want the stress. And plus, she's riding at a very expensive stable, and it's something that she knows that her mom really can't afford. So she goes and she tells her best friend all of this, who is also competing at the same place where she is. And things do not go very well. In fact, it kind of blows up their friendship, and Victoria finds herself on the outs. So, fast forward, Victoria's at a new stable. She's enjoying it. She's enjoying riding with no pressure, and she's finding like this love and this passion again she has for riding horses, but she doesn't want to make any friends because she doesn't want any of that drama again. Now, problem with that is though, there's other kids at this stable, and she soon finds that she is the one on the outside looking in, as some of the riders really don't want to be friends with her because they think that she is a snob and that she is too good, or she thinks she's too good for them, especially coming from the fancy stables that she just came from. Deciding it's time to get past their rocky start, Victoria starts to warm up and make friends with the others who were there, and they all soon learn that they have more in common than what they first thought. Even if you don't like horses, horse riding isn't your thing, you will honestly enjoy this realistic friendship tale because we've all been in this type of situation. Maybe it's not necessarily horses, maybe it's something else you're passionate about or something you enjoy or you've joined, but we can all relate to Victoria. This is Ride On. Anne of West Philly. So, in this retelling of the classic Anne of Green Gables story, the new Anne in our story, she finds herself being placed in the foster home of siblings Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert in West Philadelphia. Now, one thing I love about this graphic novel is it stays super honestly close to the source material. You will be along for this journey with Anne as she finds herself as well as where she belongs through making friends, attending school, and there are some new elements that take place in here though that aren't in the original. For example, our Anne in this one, she has a love of robotics and it plays a huge storyline throughout what happens. Now, even if you've never read the original source material, maybe never seen a movie of it, you don't have to. You will still totally enjoy this novel, and you will take this incredible life-changing journey with Anne. This is Anne of West Philly. Realm of the Blue Mist. Okay, so this is the first in a new series, the Rima Chronicles. It is there that we meet Tabby, who lives in a town which includes this giant ancient tree that's called Yagersila, okay? Now, it's rumored that this tree can produce a mist, and this mist can then grant eternal life, okay? And it's something that her father was basically obsessed with. Like, he worked in the lab in town figuring out this tree, and it basically is what killed him, okay? Tabby decides that she wants to know what actually really happened to her dad. So she sets off in the woods and she's going to find this tree herself, and she's going to see what the deal is with this tree. It's there, she gets to the tree, that she runs into a blue-haired boy named Philip, okay? And then unknowingly to her, Tabby finds herself being led by Philip into a portal, which brings her to a whole nother world. Philip tells Tabby that she needs to be kept a secret. Like, he didn't mean to actually bring her with him, but now that she's here, no one can know that she's there, okay? And he's going to help her get back home. That's the other part of the deal. She needs to stay a secret. He will help her get back home. But before that happens, Tabby finds herself caught in the middle of a struggle between the various groups living on this new planet. And she then starts to figure out that if she's going to survive, the one thing that's going to help her survive, that's going to guarantee it, is if she can figure out what her destiny is, especially in this new world that she finds herself in. This fantasy action-packed, some mythology inspired in their graphic novel is one you will not be able to put down. If you love the Amulet series, this is very reminiscent of that. Again, if you're an Amulet reader, this one right here, Realm of the Blue Mist. And our last one today is The Maze of Bones, which is book 1 in the 39 Clue series, which came out in book chapter form, I don't even know how many years ago now at this point, at least maybe 10 years at this point. But now they're coming out in graphic novel format, okay? Now, I will start with this. Book 2 is about to come out. You do need to read this series in order, okay? So this is book 1 here, Maze of Bones. It's, again, graphic novel of the chapter book version, so maybe you haven't read the chapter book, you can still totally follow along with this. We meet siblings Amy and Dan. They are currently orphans because they were living at their grandmother, and their grandmother was taking care of them, but she has recently passed away. Okay, it is at her funeral that they learn that they are part of the most powerful family on the planet. That their last name Cahill's will give them pretty much anything. It is when her will is read that they are given a choice. Choice 1, they can take $1 million. Or choice 2, they can receive a clue, which will be the first of 39 clues that will lead them in like a scavenger hunt around the world to the most important treasure on the planet. This treasure will give them as much power as they will ever need. Deciding to take the clue, they find themselves competing in a scavenger hunt against other family members, and it's going to take all of their skills and intelligence to get them through the varying tasks and dangers they face along the way. Non-stop action. You'll be solving, if you like to solve like riddles, puzzles, clues as you're reading, this one, yeah, you'll be doing it right alongside Amy and Dan. Yeah. You won't be able to put this one down. This is The Maze of Bones. So these are just 6 of the graphic novels that we have here at the library, but we have a whole graphic novel section. So I encourage you, if you're a graphic novel reader, maybe check out one of these. If you're not a graphic novel reader, check out one of these. Maybe you'll learn, maybe you'll find something new you enjoy. Again, some of our strengths as readers is to kind of get outside of our box, which I know, again, can be really hard. Sometimes I can't get out of my box, but graphic novels can totally help us with that. I hope you have an amazing week, and I hope you tune back next time for a whole new middle grade book spotlight.